Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gents. We've got a Jasper cameo and boxes because I'm packing stuff up. That's right, this soon will be no more. Not for a while yet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, today we're here to talk about the box office that we normally do. You read from the title, Scream has done pretty decent, actually. Pretty decent. It's not a home run yet, but we'll get to that because loads of people are like, wow, it's amazing. It has done really well. It took in 36 million. It's pretty decent. But it did cost 25 million reported to make. So, hasn't made back its money yet because you've got marketing on top of it. But still, it is doing really, really well. So we'll dive into it, ladies and gents, because this is always fascinating. Always fascinating stuff. And it's also a movie that I think perfectly exemplifies why horror has descended from what it once was, you know, creature features and things like that. And I know, like, slasher has its main fans, but just, you know, teen slashers are a dime a dozen these days, and this is the reason why, is because they're cheap. They are cheap to make, and they, generally speaking, make decent money. So yeah, Scream once again exemplifies why the original Scream changed the landscape of horror, because it did. And this is an interesting one for the brand new, I say brand new, Spyglass Media Group. It used to be like Spyglass Entertainment. They just kind of changed their name and stuff. But this and the Hellraiser reboot are their first titles back under this new, you know, media title that they've got. This new, it's a new business basically. And so they've done really well to do this, as you know, straight off out of the gate with this new company. But let's take a look. So this is over on Deadline. And I do like it that Deadline say, well, we can complain about Omicron, but we wouldn't necessarily complain that the variant is spoiling the top films at the box office. You do almost every week. When it's a film that you thought was going to do really well, the go-to is always COVID, Omicron. Honestly, they do it every single week. Every single week there's a film that they love. They're like, oh, well, you know, the variant is bad. The variant is scaring people. It's like, well, clearly not. Shit films are scaring people. So anyway, Paramount / Spyglass Media / Project X's Scream had a robust first day of 13.3 million, which did include Thursday's previews of $3.5 million. And it eased accordingly on Saturday, just like horror movies do. But that's because people talk about it, people know the ending. 10.1 million, and also horror fans will go out to watch it, more than likely opening night. And that's on its way to a 31.5 million 3-day and 36 million 4-day at 3,664 theatres. Now, this is a statement from Paramount's domestic theatrical distribution boss, Chris, and he says, this opening has reinvigorated the franchise for fans while simultaneously introducing to a whole new generation of new Scream fans. So they really do think that this is like pushing it, you know, really, really pushing it out there. Now, it is interesting to take a look at this, right? So it did 36 million, although I'm not overly sure what it did worldwide. Let me have a look at that, because I don't think they popped that in their article. Let me have a look. So yeah, that was 35 million. 36 million is just the... I'm pretty certain that is literally just the domestic. I could be wrong. So let's have a look at this here, shall we? Opening weekend 30. Worldwide production budget. Oh, okay, no. So yeah, it was right. 36 million. Oh no, worldwide, sorry, is 48.6 million. It's done 48.6. But this also could be wrong. Just as a quick heads up. So this is what they note here: 30.6 with 18 international. But if Deadline is stating that it's taken in 36, it could actually be a little bit more because they don't stipulate where that comes from. So let's say 50 million, rough, I guess, 50 million roughly, which is pretty decent for a $25 million budget. That has now started to hit profit. So that film will be profitable, which is like pretty crazy, actually. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to have a look at that just to double check. So that has done really well. In fairness, that has done really well. But they state here, that 4-day beats Mama, the previous high opening for a horror movie over MLK, and overall Scream's 3-day isn't far from its previous sequel opening high, Scream 2, which did 32.9 back in 1997, and Scream 3, which made 34.6 million back in 2000, which is a great start to 2022 for Paramount on the big screen. Now, this box office analytics firm reports that 2.4 million people are watching Scream over 3 days, with 1 million on opening day and 250,000 from Thursday night previews. It has absolutely smashed it. It really did really well. Now they note here, and they say, well, chalk up the success here to the alchemy of paying homage to what's old with the new. I think, in fairness, I don't think it's realistically that. I just think Scream definitely has a fan base, and they all wanted to watch it. The thing is that there's been a pretty decent distance between Scream films, so you can almost view this, and I don't want people to take me literally here, but you can almost draw a comparison to Scream as a film which has had a long time to rest. Not as long, but similarly how Star Wars had a long time to rest, and then The Force Awakens absolutely smashed numbers. It's a similar thing. Scream has a fan base. There's been a long distance between films. It then opens up. Then you capture the old fans, and then you're getting new people that want to have a look at it as well. It's similar. It's not the same, but it's similar. So it is important to note that. But it's interesting, isn't it? It really is interesting. Now, there's not really much else to go into with respect to Scream. It has just, smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. And then the other interesting thing is Spider-Man No Way Home's at like 1.6 billion, which is crazy. But it has still done really, really well, again. So Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home will click close to 704 million by the end of the holiday weekend, which would make it the 4th highest movie of all time at the US box office. So that's just US, and it bested now Black Panther's 700 million. So Sony reports a 5.1 million Friday for the John Watts directed title at 3,925 sites for a 20.8 million 3-day and 26 million 4-day. Now, I think what's also important to note about that is they haven't shrunk the screenings. It's still operating on a lot of screens, that film. Normally, they slowly drop down the screens that a film is showing on, just as it's going out there. And as it's running its course, but they've managed to keep this one quite alive because it is so popular and it is doing so well. And there's not really any other competition for it. I mean, Scream's not competition for it. The only competition, I guess, realistically would have kind of been Morbius, but even then it's not that bad. So look, Scream's absolutely smashed it. Will this mean that we'll see another one? Yeah, probably, actually. I do think that we will get an announcement that there'll be another one here. Spyglass Media Group coming out here with this new sort of horror set of films. They're going to want to continue that and start making some serious money. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you haven't seen my review of it, I'll leave a link above. But yeah, please let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do give the video a thumbs up, and please do hit subscribe. And I will say this as well, returning subscribers, just check you are subscribed and the bell notification is set to all. There's loads of issues currently with YouTube just not doing stuff. And I also just want to take this opportunity really briefly to plug the fact that I am doing and did some more audiobooks here on the channel. So on weekends, Saturday or Sunday, either or, I'll be releasing audiobooks. This weekend was H.P. Lovecraft's Polaris, or Polaris, depending on your pronunciation, your geographical enunciation. But it's a great book. It's just a quick short story. It's like 11 minutes long. And it's interesting, and I will be bringing them back here on the channel. So if you haven't already, please do check that out. I'll leave that linked above as well. So please do check that out. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video, ladies and gents. Take care.